10 out of 10 out of 10. Because
Correct.
everything was on point. I don't even know if they had any issues. I don't even know.
We didn't know
Because-
anything.
Yeah, everything was
We
just
definitely
going
didn't know
smooth.
anything.
Hi, I am Jodel,
I'm Tamara.
and we have been married 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, couple weeks,
3 weeks.
couple weeks now.
So, what made you choose us as your wedding coordinators?
Well, for me, I knew both Gary and Lee beforehand, so I felt as though they were the perfect person to deal with Tamara.
He did say that. He said that Lee's personality and my personality would mesh well, and I do remember him saying that.
And also some recommendations from people who got married and you all coordinated. That was actually the first thing one of my best friends said. He was like, get going, one time. So I just make sure I get that done.
How did you find our organizational skills help reduce stress leading up to the big day?
I wasn't stressed at all, so
Yeah, correct. We weren't stressed during the process, not even on the wedding day. At no point were we stressed.
I think at a few times I would say, like, we wasn't too sure what was going on, and then we'd have a meeting and we'd be like, nah man, we good to go. So I don't think at any point we was like really stressed.
How do you think we helped, like having us around, help keep things on schedule on the day?
Well, one thing that stood out to me was we had a schedule, and I like schedules. I like sticking to a certain time, so that really helped me.
I wasn't paying attention so much. So,
Because you didn't have much to do. I had plenty more to do than you.
and that was my plan. So, you all had a schedule. Once all your schedule was going with tomorrow's schedule, I did.
And we were actually early, so at some point we were just like sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did our presence on the day, did it make you feel more relaxed? Or
It definitely did.
I think at that point, when, like every time I see you guys, especially around that day, it was like, it's like I just know once all around, everything in order. So, I used to look forward to seeing all
I
most of the
agree.
time. If I'm not sure about anything, I'll just look for Gary and Lee.
how do you think it was in terms of
Relating with other vendors
the other
and
vendors?
Well, for me, I didn't have to communicate much with Ivana. I know you guys had that under control. Only a couple of times, and I think that was in the earlies I would have reached out to them, and after that, I didn't have much communication with them at all. So thanks for that.
Agreed. I think it's just really the initial phases when we were kind of choosing who we
Correct.
wanted to go with. That's when we liaised with the vendors, and then after that,
We didn't have much to do.
I don't know. I have less to do. She probably.
Just a little bit more,
Yeah.
but I still didn't have much to do.
How would you rate our attention to detail through the planning and the day itself?
10 out of 10 out of 10. Because
Correct. Correct.
everything was on point. I don't even know if they had any issues. I don't even know.
We didn't know
Because-
anything.
Yeah, everything was
We
just
definitely
going
didn't know
smooth.
anything.
It was real smooth. It was actually too smooth. It was like.
That's because we didn't know anything.
Yeah, it was smooth. We didn't have much to deal with. We didn't have any problems. Everything was just.
At
handled.
some point, I was wondering if it had any hiccups or anything because we really just didn't know what was going on.
I didn't wonder that at all.
No, I was just looking to make sure everybody was okay. So a couple of times I kind of glanced for you all to see like what you all were doing and that everything was okay. But
That's nice. I didn't. Not me. I didn't look. My money spent and I was just having a good time. If
No,
you,
that's
if you're not
true.
having fun, that is on you. But I having a good time right now. But at least nobody looked like they wasn't having fun.
You got any like feedback from anybody? guests?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
and all were positive feedback.
Yeah. I had no negative feedbacks. I think somebody on your side said that's the best wedding they ever
A few
went in
people
life.
on
And I
my
was like,
side said that was the
okay.
best wedding ever. Everything was on time, everything was smooth, and they said that they actually never experienced that with a wedding before. So to them, that's the best wedding that they ever went to.
Alright, final question. Would you recommend us to other couples? And if so, why?
We definitely would. I will let them know that, you know, the day could definitely be something that's stressful. It could even be something that you end up not enjoying, because I heard a lot of horror stories. However, with you guys, I was not at all, and at thoughts, not for a second.
For me, there's always people saying wedding is stressful, and it genuinely wasn't. And especially at that time, I think for both of us, career-wise, it was a difficult time.
Yeah,
Because I
correct.
was going through a lot with it, and she was going through a lot with it. So we were really busy, especially at that time where wedding planning would have been critical. So I thank God for it, because
That's true, because I didn't even really have to take any vacation from
Yeah,
work
she
before
take
the
like
wedding.
3
2
days
days.
before the wedding.
I took like 2 days before the
Right.
wedding, and then I was just being pampered and not having anything to do.
She didn't have. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Them 2 days, she said, oh, they had 2 days. Please, not one thing.
I didn't have any, because I didn't have anything to do, so I just got to rest.
So, introduce us and how long?
Introduce us?
Introduce yourselves.
So introduce us.
Introduce yourselves and that's how long you have been married.